Hey, it's time for Math Room 230, my favorite. So we've been thinking about shapes for a couple of weeks now. We first thought about what are the attributes of a shape? How many sides, how many corners, how many vertices does it have? Is this a triangle? Is this a triangle? And we thought a lot about what are the attributes of the shapes. Then we thought about how to measure the inside of a shape, how to measure the area of a shape. This week, we're going to think about how we can divide a shape into equal parts. Let's talk about this word equal. What do I mean when I say equal? Do I mean 2 plus 2 equals 4? Is that what I mean? What does the word equal mean? Will you stop and think about that for a moment? Now will you tell the person next to you what you think? I think equal means, yeah, a lot of you are saying that you think equal means it means the same as. 2 plus 2 is the same as 4. So equal means the same. If something is equal, then it's the same. So we're going to think about how we can divide shapes into equal parts, or parts that look the same. So we're going to need some things. So I want to make sure you've got what you need before we get started. You are going to need your math journal. You are going to need something to write with, and you're going to need your Bridges book. If you don't have those things right next to you, will you please pause this video and go and get them? Okay, now that you've gotten them, I want you to open up your math journal to a clean page, and we're going to get ready to do some math. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the story problem. And remember, we're thinking, how can we divide shapes equally? So I made a big brownie. Here it is. And I'm going to share it with Iman. How can I cut my brownie so that it's going to be fair between Iman and I? How can it be equal? So I'm using my grid whiteboard. You are going to be using your grid paper in your math journal. And I would like for you to right now draw a brownie that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares across, and 1, 2, 3, 4 squares down. And draw that brownie in your journal. So if you need to, you might even pause the video to give yourself plenty of time to do that. Okay, so I've drawn mine right there, and it's, whoops, I made a mistake. It's supposed to be 3 or 4, and I only made it 3. Here, let me do it again. You know what? While I'm fixing mine, you double check yours. Did you do yours right? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There. This is the right one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Have your brownie drawn. And now take a look at it and think to yourself, how can I divide this brownie into equal parts so that it's fair? Because me and Iman love brownies, and we don't want the other person to get a bigger piece. So I'm going to draw mine. And you tell me if it's fair. Did I divide this brownie into 2 equal parts? This part is Iman's, this part is mine. No, it's not fair. Why? Yeah, because Iman's part is smaller and my part is bigger. I was being sneaky. You guys caught me though. Okay, so I'll move the line over. Is it equal now? Yes, it is. And if you look at how many squares there are, you can tell. There's 1, 2, 3 on Iman's side, 1, 2, 3 on my side. So these are 2 equal parts. Does anybody know the word for when you cut a shape into 2 equal parts? Anybody know what that's called? What is it? Half. I cut the brownie in half. H-A-L-F, half. This is 1/2 and this is 1/2. We have 2 halves right here. Iman's gonna eat this half and I'm gonna eat this half. And we're gonna love it. Uh-oh. Somebody else just walked in. Uh-oh. Here comes 2 more people. They want part of the brownie too. Iman, should we share? All right. We're gonna be nice and we're gonna share. Caduce and Tiffany both came in and they want part of the brownie too. Okay. I guess we can be nice. So how many pieces do we need to cut this brownie into now? 1 part for me, 1 part for Iman, 1 part for Caduce, 1 part for Tiffany. 4 parts. We need to cut it into 4 parts. So I have my brownie cut into 2 parts. You have your brownie cut into 2 parts in your book. What can we do to make it 4 parts? Will you take a moment and draw that in your book and tell me how you're going to cut it into 4 parts? Okay, let's compare our brownies. What did you do? Well, I'll show you what I did. Here is my first line that I drew this way. And then I drew another line this way across. Do I have 4 equal parts? Yes, I do. And you know what? We can use what we learned about area last week just to double check and see. This section right here, what is the area? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everybody gets a part of the brownie that has an area of 6. Everybody's is exactly the same. It's equal, right? Is this the only way I could have cut my brownie? Is there a different way I could have done it? That makes me feel curious. I'm going to see if I can figure out a different way to cut that brownie. What else could I do? What if I cut it in half like that? Is this brownie equal? Is this fair? Yes, it is. You're right. It's 2 equal parts. Now that's just from me and Iman, but we said we would include Tiffany and Caduce. So now I'm going to cut it in half again the other way. And what do I end up with? If I was better at drawing lines, it would look a little more equal than it's supposed to. I think my line got just a little bit crooked. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's 4 equal parts. Will you play around with that in your journal? Maybe you're going to draw several different rectangles and see how many different ways you can divide it into 4 equal parts. What if instead of it being 4 people, what if Tiffany said, you know what, never mind, I'm not hungry, I don't want any brownie, just the 3 of you can share it. And so it would be me and Iman and Caduce wanting to share this brownie. How could we cut the brownie into 3 equal parts? Will you draw a new brownie? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Draw a new brownie in your graph paper and think to yourself, how can I cut it into 3 equal parts? Okay, what did you draw? Show it to your partner. Make sure it's equal. Okay, I'll show you mine. Are these equal? Yes, 2, 2, and 2. So they're all 2 squares wide, so they're exactly the same. They are all equal. I can divide it into 3 parts. Do you know what the word is for when you divide something into 3 parts? we know that when you divide it into 2, it's called half. Do you know what it's called when you divide it into 3? It's kind of a funny word, but you know this word because we've talked about it with the calendar actually. It's called thirds. Thirds. When you divide something into 3 parts, 1, 2, 3, we call it thirds. 1, 2, 3, thirds. What do you call it when you divide something into 4 parts? Do you know it? It's called fourths. Fourths. That's a funny word. Like when we talk about the date, we use the word fourth and third when we talk about the date as well. We say today is January 3rd or today is January 4th. This is how you spell fourth. It's the word for, F-O-U-R, with the T-H and an S at the end. Fourths. So we thought today about how we could divide things up equally so that it's fair. And we thought about what this word equal means. Equal means the same. We're going to do more work with this during our small groups. But what I want you working on this week is in your Bridges workbook, I want you to do pages 92 and 93. And they're talking about ants who want to share a granola bar. Do you know what shape a granola bar is in? Yeah, they're rectangles. So let me show you what I want you to do, and then I have a couple different things that are going to be different about it so that we need to talk about. So it says here, this is page 92. Solve the problems below with your paper granola bar. Be sure to label each ant's share. Well, you don't have a paper granola bar, but what you do have is your math journal. So you can take your math journal and you can draw your rectangle and use it to help you divide the granola bar. So instead of this being a brownie, now it's a granola bar. What happens when 2 ants share 1 granola bar? We want to cut it in half. So you can draw your granola bar and then show me how you're going to cut it in half. Maybe you're going to cut it in half this way. That's kind of tricky. 1, 2. So this is for problem number 1. Problem number 2, you can draw a rectangle again. And you know you can use your ruler if you need help drawing straight lines. What happens when 3 ants want to share a granola bar? Oh, well, we just did that. We can think about how we can divide this into 3. Okay. What happens when 4 ants share 1 granola bar? So draw another one and show that. And then move on to this page. What happens when 2 ants share 2 granola bars? Now wait a minute, this is getting a little bit different. What happens when 2 ants share 2 granola bars? I think this is kind of a trick question. I'm going to draw some granola bars here and see if I can figure this out. Here's a granola bar. We're drawing 2 granola bars. And here's a granola bar. Oh, well, wait a minute. This ant will eat this granola bar, and this ant will eat this granola bar. I don't have to cut them up at all. What happens when 3 ants share 2 granola bars? This gets a little more tricky. So I'm going to draw 2 granola bars. And now, and if it's easier for you to use your grid paper, do that. Now I need to think, how can I divide this up in a way that's fair? If I divide them both in half, will that work? This one gets this half, this one gets this half, and this one gets this half. But I have this half left over. And we have to use it all up, so that's not gonna work. Maybe I'll try it a different way. Can you solve this? Can you figure out how to divide up 2 granola bars so that these 3 ants can all have equal share? What happens when 4 ants share 2 granola bars? So now you're going to draw 2 granola bars and figure out how 4 ants can all each have part. I have a feeling that the solution for this one is going to be, because there's 3 ants, it makes me think maybe we want to cut things up into thirds. But I don't know, I need to think more about this one and then figure out this one as well. So you've got some homework to do. I want you to do pages 92 and 93. And then additionally, I also want you to doing your IXL. IXL Math Level D. And this week, I want you to work on section W, practicing your fractions. If you find out